So you know that it's the final pacemaking duty of the day for Lucy Jones, so she can carry on for as long as she wants. Look, she's about to start her own watch, as pacemakers do, on the outside in the white singlet on the left. Beyond that, beyond having the pacemaker on the outside, there is no seeding in the way that they're lined up. It isn't the fastest runners on the outer deck, it's just a random draw. And they won't all have met each other. There's 7 different nationalities in this race, and from all parts of the UK, but there are 6 from Loughborough. I wonder if they'll all wear the Loughborough colours. It's been a divided choice as to whether they wear their club or their university colours. I think if you were racing for the final time on your university track, you'd probably wear the violet, because that guarantees you a cheer or two. Pacemaker, I like this, just easing her way round. So others will see her come and think, oh yeah, she's just doing that very gradually. I'll follow her. She knows what she's doing. It's Lucy Jones, but already there is a gap of around about 3 seconds on this field of 25, if they're all there.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes going off incredibly fast. Lucy Jones still struggling to get to the front. I think she's just saying, look, let's calm it down a little bit. 34, 35 through that first 200 would take them well under 9 minutes. And yeah, when you're looking for a pace of 9:08, you really want to be nice and steady, nice and smooth early on. And I think with the introduction of wave lights on the circuit, one of the biggest assets is it's just controlled, it's tempered down that opening sort of kilometer in these distance races. They used to go off fast, and then it would slow a little in the middle, and then they would lift it. And I think seeing so many fast times come from just a perfectly paced opening 4-500, just these athletes being able to avoid dipping into that lactic system too early.
The thing that always makes me laugh is that wave lights were created by Bram Som, who was the last particularly famous pacemaker in his own right. But it does add another dimension to pacemaking, where you have to keep your eyes up and looking right to see who's on your shoulder and the athletes are coming with you. But you've also got to keep them down and left to check where you are against the usually green lights of the pacemaker. So she's doing a good job, Lucy Jones. I hope she'll go to at least halfway, and I'm sure the rest of this field hope so as well. They appear to have got themselves into a very nice rhythm in this race. Not too much contact, no disruption, all very controlled and civilised. And if Lucy Jones can be the ringmaster and boss this one for at least a couple more laps, they will all be very grateful to her. 3.48 and 3.58. Well, 3.58 is the Canadian Courtney Huffsmith, who's 26. She was 7th in the Carlsbad road races, so she mixes up her surfaces a little bit. And 3.48, a little bit closer, is Zoe Gilbody, coached by Sarah Benton at Telford AC. She's run, she was 4th in the Loughborough International here over this distance earlier this year.
Yeah, and in the long pink socks as well, that's Olga Fasova, the vet 40 from Australia that you mentioned earlier on, Jeff. 9.12, her lifetime best. So she's in there. She's looking hungry to challenge for it again. And hey, just because you're in your 40s doesn't mean you can't PB. We've seen some great feats recently, haven't we? Even the likes of Kipchoge still going strong at 40 years of age. So Fasova, just pretty aggressive. What was that through the cage, Jeff? 3.06 or so? So about bang on, 9.15. If they're to keep this sort of tempo rolling, and we're just starting to see now. I think Lucy Jones saw she was 3.06, which is a little slow, and now she's starting to lift, and only one athlete willing to go with it.
Yeah, first of all, in the socks, the Australian set her lifetime best. Only 2023 in Sydney. That will have been in March in the Southern Hemisphere season. So she's still got wheels. She's still a woman for all seasons. But the only athlete in the meeting, I think, so far, we had a few on Wednesday night at St Mary's, but the only athlete in the Vet 40 category that we've seen so far this evening. But the gap is opening up. She's responding to that. But these leading two just starting to get away. And we're 4 minutes into the race. Very shortly at the start of the back straight, it will be the halfway point. And at the moment, only Courtney Huffsmith of Canada is going with Lucy Jones. And if there's any chat there, it will be, can you do it? Can you do one more? Can you keep going for one more? She looks all right. A lot of time looking at her watch. So she's trying to judge it correctly. And I think, as you said, Matt, she realised it was a second or two down at 1K. So she's put in a little bit of a surge to get back on schedule. Yeah,
she's split this field right up, hasn't she, Lucy Jones? Doing a good job. I tell you what, Eliza Nicholson is just slowly trying to get back and stay in contact here, because she'll be aware that Jones will step off at some point. That will make it hard for Huffsmith. So if Nicholson can just get back on terms, she's going to have her own personal pacer going into the final kilometre of this race. So we're going to go through that mile split just to clip outside 5 minutes, or just clip under 5 minutes if you like. Nicholson, fantastic cross-country runner, second at the English National in what was horrific deep mud at Parliament Hill, and she doubled back on a slightly faster course at Woollerton Park at the UK Cross-Country Championships, taking the title on that occasion, Nicholson. So she sits in second. Big arm action as she's trying to reel in Huffsmith now, who's on her own with coming up to 3 laps to run.
I feel like this is a gamble for Huffsmith because she's good. She's in the prime of her career, but her personal best of 9:08 goes back to 2019. So perhaps the memories are flooding back a little bit of just how hard the 3,000 metres is. And that's a tantalising gap for her to try and hold on to with 3 laps to go. So the previous laps have all been chaperoned by Lucy Jones, the pacemaker. Now she's on her own, and it does start to sting a little bit.
And Nicholson, Fasova, just getting back on terms, but just herself just losing a little concentration. A lot can happen over the last kilometre in a 3,000 metre race, so it is not done at all yet. But Nicholson just putting in some really hard laps, and Jeff, unfortunately, just not really getting anywhere. Can't get on contact with Huffsmith. You can see there the teeth starting to show. She's gritting her teeth. Nicholson could probably do with someone else just to swing wide and help her out over a key point. What were they, 6:15 through 3,000, so perhaps a 3:10 or so kilometre for Huffsmith there.
The danger woman, I think, here is Danielle Donegan of Tullamore and Ireland. She's the athlete in third. She's eased her way through from a long way back. She can now see the leader. She's right onto Eliza Nicholson's shoulder. And look at this. This is a move from deep in the pack. Very smoothly done, very evenly done. And I think she's putting herself in a good position. And I don't think that Huffsmith of Canada is going to be able to hang on to this. There's just too much firepower coming from further back in the pack with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, look at this. And Claire Forhage of the United States now. The international runners are starting to just move their way through. It's Ireland and the USA. Huffsmith of Canada, they're your top 3. Eliza Nicholson finally makes contact with Huffsmith after trying so hard for the last few laps and continuing to hang in there. This is great run from the under-20 athlete. However,
well,
Donegan
if you
now
half close your eyes now, Matt, it's like lap 1, isn't it? The whole field is now concertinaed back together. It's a very bogus PB for the American Claire Fulhager. 9:42, I mean, she's operating way inside that. She must have just hardly ever raced 3,000 metres. That's her in the fluorescent colours. Nice for us as the dusk settles on the arena here. But boiling up to be a good race. It is 3:59. Danielle Donegan of Ireland leading. 3:61 behind her. Eliza Nicholson, the under-20 from Blackheath and Bromley. Claire Fulhager of the USA. And just starting to enter the chat is 3:47. That's Megan Marchant of Western Tempo and Loughborough, electing for her sponsors' colours as we get the bell. And moving around the outside, it's another Irish athlete. That's Ella Fennelly, Belgrave and Ireland. So Ireland have got 2 in the leading group, USA in there as well. And the momentum is with Fennelly. She's got no PBs at all, no season's best, no lifetime best. I think she's been doing other things. But this is going to make her presence felt because they're going to have to get a motorbike on here to catch her. She has really put her foot down. Ella Fennelly, I think she was a long, long way back with a kilometre to go. But look at her go now. She's really ripping into this last half a lap. And there is nobody looking like they're going to be able to close this down. She's judged it really well. It was a strong move with 300 metres to go. And look at the damage that she's done. She's gone 10, 15 metres clear, and she is still going away. So we haven't had too many Irish victories, but this is a good one. The final women's race of the day, the 3,000 metre A race, is going to go to a Belgrave Harrier in the colours of her Irish club. It's Ella Fennelly, 9:17. Big PB, and I think there's quite a lot coming as they go across the line behind because these were 9:30 athletes coming into the race.
What a run from Fenley. That's how you do it. You stay in the shadows. You stay out of trouble. You be patient. Don't exert too much energy and you save it all for the last lap. She took them all by surprise, didn't she, Jeff, and powered home. Phenomenal.
We've seen that a few times. It's a 50-50 shake of the dice, isn't it? If you're there when the pacemaker steps off and you take it on, maybe less than 50-50. It's probably a 35-65 shot against you that you're going to win it from halfway onwards. And she was never going to consider that tactic. I'm not sure she was. I mean, we'll see her well clear. But if you looked at this shot a lap and a half before that, I think she was back in fourth or something like that.
Yeah, she was, and even early on in the race, she was much, much further back. She was just staying relaxed. It was a fairly aggressive first opening lap, but then it did slow. They did settle throughout, and she managed to lift it. And what always amazes me is the gaps you can put on people in that final 400, especially in a 3,000 and a 5,000 where you're lapping in 74, 73, something in that region. A 66 is a world apart from a 70, 71.